save all of these lives, and I don't want to save all that just waiting around. So anyway, welcome to my live. My name is Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go on my website, it's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board, my boot camp courses. They're on sale right now. The 25% off during Black Friday for 4 days. I think it runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And anyways, you might want to check that out. I have one for toddlers, one for older kids. Or you can look into coaching if you want to work with me one-on-one. That's a big wait list for that, but I'll get to you eventually. And the podcast is running a 7 podcasts in 7 days series right now. We usually do 2 a week, but this is all of our basic information, all of the fundamentals around BratBusters. And that will be available. I don't know how my daughter's going to do that, but she does all that stuff. So, but we're running it right now. So we have a podcast going every day for 7 days. I think today was day 4. Anyway, New Westminster. Okay. There was a question back there, so I'll get going with that. Okay. This is Erica. My 3-year-old has me feeling like I'm fighting in a war every day. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. We're from Cincinnati? What would CT be? I don't know. I'm Canadian, so anyway. I don't know. So she's in charge, so you're not, and she knows it, and you know it too. So check out my free behavior board. It's the training wheels with all this stuff. It teaches you how to lay down some rules and consequences, and you're on there too. That's what makes a leader. Leaders lead by example. Like, watch me. Don't listen to me. Watch me. They're not listening to you. If you're explaining things to them and telling them why they should or shouldn't do stuff, they're tuning you out, okay? Parents want to explain everything all the time, especially with bad behavior. It's an absolute waste of time. Because they already know. Past the age of 3, 2.5 to 3, they know, they know right from wrong. So yeah, all this explaining just makes you look really weak. Makes you look like you're afraid of them. Okay, Thomas, I'm from New York. I'm 50 and just had my 3rd child, a little girl, 15 months old. She's kicking our butts. She's only 15 months old. What the heck are you going to do when she's 15? Check out my free behavior board. It has a toddler section on that. It's completely free. If you want to get in on the Black Friday sale, my courses are 25% off right now. One of them's a toddler course. You might want to check that out. Toddlers to me are 16 to 35 months, but she's right in that area. I'd love coaching. I'll pay double. I don't care. I've had a lot of offers. Really big offers to get in the front of the line. But yeah, I don't do that. First come, first serve. The thing is that coaching, we don't need coaching. I just do it because I love it. And the only reason I've just been increasing the price quite a bit lately, just to keep the wait list down. That's what they say you should do. So, but yeah, I love coaching. It's my favorite thing. Oh, and Connecticut. Oh, silly me. What did I say? Cincinnati? That's Ohio. So yeah, anyway, I knew I was wrong when I said it. Sorry, Beverly. I'm Canadian, so I'm allowed. Okay. Southern Chesapeake. Or is it Chesapeake? It's not Chesapeake. It's Chesapeake, isn't it? Virginia. Oh, thanks for your support. I'm glad it's helped. You know, I give the information here, but you're the ones who do all the work. So pat yourself on the back. Okay, you got this is Doc S, really stubborn toddler. He's always been that way. Oh, here we go. One thing that works some is giving him options, this or that. No, he's taking that and running with it. It might work because it suits him, but when it doesn't suit him, he takes over. So when you've got a toddler who is stubborn and difficult, there's no way I'd give them choices. Unless you're playing with them, they can choose what toys you're playing with. But everything else, don't give them choices. Would you want to wear this or that? Do you want to go to the park or do you want to go there? Just say, here, we're going there. So yeah, it's the options that are throwing that thing. It's throwing a wrench in everything. There's nothing wrong with options in certain situations, but not when they're running all over you. No. Hi, Ajna. I'm sure I said that wrong. Sorry, Florida. Welcome. Need help with a teen. Yeah, that's my favorite age. I'm going to read out my top 5 tips for parenting teenagers. Number 1, listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture with, or they will shut you out. If they want your advice, they'll ask for it. They already know it anyway. Number 2, negotiate as much as possible with teenagers. It might go like this. Hey, I want your dirty clothes in the hamper from now on. What do you want from me? See, reciprocity. Give respect to get it. Number 3, don't sweat the small stuff with teenagers. If they do something stupid and it's not a big deal, Just say, well, that was stupid. Do you want to hear what I did when I was your age? Or do you want to hear what I did yesterday? And laugh it off. We all make mistakes. We all made mistakes. We're all going to continue to make mistakes. It's just life. Life's messy sometimes. Number 4, don't leverage the good times to discuss the bad times. So when do you discuss the bad times? Never. There's no point whatsoever. None. If you can come up with a reason to discuss the bad times, once you've already dealt with it, you deal with bad times, say, yeah, okay, that happened. Here's your consequence, then move on. If you can come up with a good reason, I'd love to hear it, why you should discuss the bad times. I'd love to hear it. Some of my clients are psychologists and psychiatrists, child psychologists. They struggle with parenting too. I couldn't do their jobs though. They're different, business, personal. And they've never been able to convince me that you should discuss bad behavior. So, okay. Anyway, number 5 with teenagers, you can be a right fighter or you can be happy. Can't be both. Think about it. If you're arguing with your teenager, even if they know they're wrong, they're still going to die on that hill. All you're going to do is cause animosity. There's no point. Just say, oh, well, let's just let it go, or let's talk about it later. Do not add when you calm down or because you're too upset. Love your content. Oh, thanks, Michaela. I appreciate your support. South Carolina here. South Carolina. I've had clients there in South Carolina. Dowdy. I've heard how you pronounce that. That's Maine. Dowdy, Maine. I've heard it before. I don't think I'm saying it right. Sorry. Okay. Michaela. Oh, I see. Okay. So you've just got a little one. So you're going to get a jump on the gun ahead of other people who are just starting at like 17 years old with all this stuff. Yeah. If you just got a 4-month-old, yeah, you can. I don't really have much advice for babies other than just pick them up when they cry, cuddle them all the time, just tons of love. And if they do something bad, like biting you, just say no and redirect. There's no disciplining with babies. Babies are up to 15 months old. I just started the options because otherwise he's stubborn. My family and I waited about 10 minutes for him to apologize for pulling his sister's hair. We just waited and he stared and refused. And he was too. Why on earth are you having a 2-year-old apologize? Where's the lesson in that? There's no lesson in getting a 2-year-old to apologize. It's just empty words to him. Empty words. Check out my free behavior board, or my courses are on sale right now if you want to go that extra, get the course. But yeah, it's just empty words. Don't get a 2-year-old to apologize. You want that, but it's useless. Plus you said, I gave him options because he's stubborn. That's the exact reason why you shouldn't give him options. You see? Yeah, you're feeding it. You're making it worse. Okay, you're using timeout, Erica. Yeah, I hate timeout. I never do it. So, and then you say she'd rather just do a consequence rather than clean up the mess she made. Yeah, that's what I would do. Just get her to do a consequence, but make it kind of yucky. You don't want it to make a super easy one. But yeah, timeout's useless. I think it's mean. I'm getting some good questions tonight. Not that other nights are bad, but they're not just the normal questions. Like toddler tantrum is a real common one. Yeah, good for you, Kathleen. Nicole, South Dakota. Hello. My toddler is resenting potty training. What do I do? You mean resisting? I don't know, but I have a whole system on how to potty train. It's in both my boot camp courses. They're on sale right now, 25% off if you're interested. But it's a whole system. I don't have any tips on it. It's a whole system. Also, when you're taking parenting advice, don't mix up different people. Like what I mean is I have a whole system, a whole methodology. I teach calm leadership parenting. My main goal is to connect with kids. I deal with discipline, but I connect with kids, okay? So that's what I do. I don't do the mini therapy sessions discussing all the big feelings and big emotions when they're naughty. That's absolutely ludicrous. So you can't mix up my methods with someone else's. Like if you were to throw time out into my methods, it wouldn't work. Someone was saying to me, this a couple of years ago, someone said something like this. They said, your methods just don't work at all. And they said, because I did the behavior board, and then when I gave them time out, well, I don't teach time out. I think it's mean. I teach how to give respect to get it. Time out is very disrespectful. I think it's horrible. So you got to be careful with that. It's like dieting. You can't pick and choose what you like from different diets, right? You have to go with one. So that's what I'm suggesting here, because a lot of people mix stuff up. You know, they'll be watching me and then they'll go on to someone else and someone else. If you like what I'm saying, just watch me for 3 weeks and apply what I say for 3 weeks. If it tanks, just say she's an idiot and move on to someone else. But stay in the lane, right? Pick a lane and stay with it. And I deal with all ages. I would never take advice from someone who doesn't know about teenagers, because how on earth do they know what they're investing in down the line, right? They have to have finished the job with their own kids and loved it and found it easy. They have to have, what else? Oh, they have to have worked with tons of other kids too, okay? Because if I didn't learn a lot with my own kids, I learned it from all the other kids I worked with. And what's the other one? I always say there's 3 things they need to have. Finish the job with their own kids. Oh yeah, and have found parenting easy and they enjoyed it. Otherwise, why would you take advice from someone who struggled? It's not something you want to relate to an expert with when it comes to parenting. You don't want to take parenting advice from someone who struggled for like 5 years and then figured something out. Because what about those first 5 years or whatever? Yeah. Oh, that's really sweet. I don't want to embarrass anyone, but I get approached in public like a lot. And because people recognize me and they're always surprised. They think I'm American, but I'm Canadian. I live here in Vancouver. My daughter said after this meeting with someone that ran into me and the way they talked and what they said to me, my daughter said, guaranteed when they got in the car, they went like this. Oh no, how embarrassing. It was adorable. I won't repeat it, but it was so cute. I think the thing is that because I teach parenting, I think I'm sort of that motherly figure. So people feel like they know me. And yeah, it was really cute. Couldn't find the behavior board. Go to BratBusters.com. It's right at the top. It's the black line at the top, and it has a button that says Get Access. And we have tested this over and over again because we used to have problems with people not being able to get it. But they just weren't following all the directions. But my daughter's made it as easy as possible. So you do have to join the newsletter to get it because you're not allowed to collect emails and send stuff out. You're just not. You have to have permission, like they have to join something. It's just the way it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. Black Friday. It's right. Black Friday sale is on there. And then you just keep following it through. Oh, no, Black Friday. Oh, she's changed it. Black Friday sale. She's put it at the very top. Okay, let me go down. Okay, it will be the first step. So if you go down, it's the first step. Yeah, I was wrong. I don't do my website. My daughter does all that. So yeah. So you just hit Get Access, and there it is. There you go. Okay, so you just scroll down a little bit. So sorry about that. It used to be the very top, but because we've got the Black Friday sale going on, that's why she's replaced it. And that's only for 4 days, so it'll be back to normal soon. Okay. Sorry about that. You know, when I was doing my own website years ago, it was quite different. We used to have like an index, the tabs across the front had everything. We've still got that, but it's not quite the same way that we used to. We used to want to be able to look at like a chapter, like here's the tab, you go here, you go here. But now the way websites are done is they want you to scroll down them. Like they don't want you to just look at the tab and click on everything. And that's what I used to do when I did my own website. It's just styles have changed in the way people scroll and the way they look at websites. That's why I'm not doing it anymore. Okay, what to do if a 5-year-old screams and went mad and starts to break things. Yeah, you just say you can't address screaming or attitude because you've caused that basically. Their behavior in that age range, 3 to 12 years old, is just a result of your parenting. So you've got to take full responsibility for that behavior. But what you do is you put on the behavior board, no breaking things. So if he does, there's a consequence. Okay. You can't put down anger. Don't discuss his anger. Don't get into all that stuff. That's the mini therapy session stuff. It's crap. It's absolute crap. I know parents like it. I don't know. Anyway, it's just garbage. Yeah. Don't discuss all that stuff. Just straight to the point. No breaking things. When you do, here's your consequence. And then stop talking. Just hand out the consequence. Stop talking about it. Everyone wants to discuss bad behavior all the time. Absolute waste of time. And you're investing in tomorrow. Often when people hire me, they say, yeah, I know, but the 24-hour media blackout, I know, but what do I do today? And I go, nothing. We're always investing in tomorrow. It's short-term pain for long-term gain. There's nothing you can do in the moment. If you got a kid breaking stuff and all that, you're just going to have to teach him to stop doing it down. Hopefully the next time he won't do it. He'll think twice. But yeah, we're not fixing kids here. They're just a result of your parenting. So you've got to work on yourself. Okay. That's the important thing. That's the important thing to remember when you're doing all this, is it's never your kids. Like whenever someone will challenge me on that, and then I'll say to them, what do you think your kid would be like with me? And they usually go, probably okay. So it's never the kid. It's the leadership or lack of it, right? They're drawn to a leader. Kids want to be good. They don't like themselves when they're bad. They don't. Their self-esteem's in the toilet. My goal is always that kids feel good about themselves and they like themselves. And then when they feel good, they do good. When they feel bad, they do bad. So that's why I never show any anger, disappointment, or frustration. And I've never yelled or anything. So if you're judging your kid, it's making them feel worse. If you're discussing bad behavior, it's making them feel worse. Where you put your energy, where you put your focus is what grows. If you're putting it into discussing the bad behavior and why they shouldn't do it and why they should be good, you're doing it wrong. I don't know who's guiding all that stuff. I don't know anyone else out there, and I don't. I've never looked at anyone else out there. I stay in my lane. Okay. ADHD children, the same. They're not disabled in any way. They just take a little bit more time and patience. Sometimes those are all the kids I learned all this with. I worked with all those kids. I used to call them alphabet kids. They always had an acronym after their name, ADHD, WXYZ. I used to call myself, I think it was COL, crazy old lady, because I'd say, because they always introduce themselves like this. Hi, I'm whatever Ben, and I've got ADHD. So I said, I'm Lisa, and I've got COL. And they went, what's that? And I go, crazy old lady. I don't like acronyms. I think when you start labeling kids, you got to be careful with that. Okay, a very good comment. This is Kiki on, I guess it's Kiki, 98 on YouTube. Anyway, who said, I was a maniacal teenager, straight up awful. I know you said the teenager stuff doesn't do as well on social media. Whenever we post about teenagers, they just dive, those videos. But it's how I found you on YouTube. I was so scared to raise a kid like myself. Yeah, you don't have to. But yeah, we still, okay, we're not a money-making business. We're in the caring field. We're into putting information out, and if it happens to be successful, great. We're very grateful, right? But our main goal is to put out what you need to hear. So we still put out videos that we know are going to tank. We did a podcast recently. We knew it would tank. It was all about how to connect with your kids. We just knew, it did okay. But the ones that do really well are your kids are difficult, your kids aren't listening to you. Those are the ones. And we know that could be clickbait. We could just keep putting those out, but we're not well-rounded if we do that. We have to keep putting out stuff that you need to hear. So even though you don't follow it and you don't listen to it, some of you do, and I appreciate the fact that you did. But yeah, we're very careful with that. We need to say what you need to hear because we're in the caring industry and we take this very seriously. Because I know in the past, I've hired people to help me with marketing before my daughter took over, and she's freaking brilliant at it. And they always said the same thing. You take your biggest performing videos and just keep feeding off that. I would be talking about nothing but tantrums if that was the case. So very bad advice. I think that's it. I think everyone who gets hired for marketing, they all think that you just want money, that that's your main goal. That's not my main goal. My main goal is helping parents. My second goal is money. So yeah, we don't blame people for not looking. I mean, connection maybe isn't your problem. People tend to look into my videos to solve problems. So that's why I understand that. Okay. What if one parent is on the behavior board and the other one won't go on there? Just leave them off there then. Just leave them off. That's okay. I get that. I get clients all over the world. And if I have a client in the Mideast or something, a lot of times that culture, the men would not be on the behavior board. I can usually talk them into getting on there. But it's very careful how we have to do it. Then I totally respect that culture. Okay. The father is the head of the house, and other cultures, like they have multi-generational homes. So there's no way they would talk back to a grandparent or a great grandparent. The parent wouldn't. So they have to do whatever. It's I got to work around all that stuff. But yeah, just if they don't want to be on the board, don't force it. That's okay. But when I'm hired, I usually like to get the other parent on the board. I've got a few things up my sleeve I can throw at them to get them on the board. I was going to do that, but you didn't put an age. And don't just put an age. You have to put your whole question and then an age. By the way, sorry, my alarm already went. I've got to go over to Instagram now if you want to join me over there. Don't forget, we've got the sale running on the bootcamp courses right now. If you go to BratBusters.com, you can also get my free behavior board, and you can look into coaching one-on-one with me. That is a big wait list for that, but I'll get to it eventually. Or you can listen to our podcast, BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and we save them all on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is nothing but podcasts and lives. So this live will be on the channel, on the YouTube. Anyway, and that's it. So don't forget the sale's on until Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific. So thanks so much for joining me. I'm hopping over to Instagram, and I'm on YouTube the whole time. Happy parenting. Oh, this button isn't working. Come on. There we go. Okay. A lot of people don't want to parent the way their parents did, which is usually the authority, if they don't want that. And then the pendulum swung the other way and you became the pleaser. Now, you got to be careful with that. Just because you don't like what your parents did, you don't want to swing the other way. And let your kids walk all over you. You got to be careful with that. I don't teach either. I teach leadership. So I never tell kids what to do. I never repeat myself. I just lay down the rules and they understand them. And then if they don't follow them, then there's a consequence. I get consequences too, though. So if you're not on that board, if you're not accountable to your kids, you're not a leader. You have to be accountable. My kids loved it when I messed up. I usually forgot to do something and they just loved it because then I'd do something nice for them, right? Okay. Welcome to the live. I'm on Instagram now. I go from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok, and I'm on YouTube the whole time. So thanks for joining me. My name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go on my website, it's BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board. My bootcamp courses are on sale right now for Black Friday. And there's one for toddlers, one for older kids. And we did just update the toddler one. We changed the way it's all sort of written out. It's most of the same information, but there's a few other little sections in there now. And I think my daughter's already announced that to people who already have the course. So there's just been some changes in there. And if you're going to buy either course, I recommend that you read through the whole course or watch it all first. It might take a few hours, but I really recommend you watch the whole thing first and then go back and start methodically, because it'll put you in the right frame of mind because you know where you're going. Okay. So that's the courses. If you want to work with me one-on-one, that would be coaching. There's a big wait list for that, but I'll get to you eventually. Or you might want to listen to our podcast. It's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. We're right in the middle of a 7 podcasts in 7 days series. It's all of our basic information, which will be bundled up and put somewhere. My daughter will do all that. Anyway, so it's just, we thought we got to, if anyone's brand new to BratBusters, we're going to send them to that when we're finished doing it. So we're in day 4, I think, series 4 right now. But so usually we only do 2 podcasts a week, but we're doing these 7 in 7 days right now. Okay, so was that it? Yeah, my daughter and I work together. We do the podcast together. And if you want to watch us, it's on YouTube. Now, this is from, don't know your name here. I can't read that first part out. Itzel. If my 3-year-old's consequence is to clean her kids' table, is it okay for her to just clean part of it? She's 3 years old. I think she can clean the whole thing. I don't think that, because when you say part of it, are you going to put a tape line down where she only has to clean? Yeah, no, I would have her clean the whole thing. But if it's really hard to clean, I wouldn't. It should, the chore, the consequence shouldn't be more than a couple of minutes, and it shouldn't be like breaking a sweat or back breaking. You're struggling to break the cycle of yelling with my 2 and 3-year-old. Well, whenever I get clients that I work with, they all yell. Most parents yell because it does work in the short term, but you don't want to do it. No one wants to do it. And it does backfire down the road. Yellers raise yellers. So, and it makes them feel bad. So yeah, just keep watching. You can check out my website, BratBusters.com. Start with my free behavior board. The behavior board starts at 3, but it's like a mini course. It also has a toddler section, and that's all the basics with all this. I can't keep repeating all the basics all the time, but with toddlers, it's consistent corrective actions. And with 3 and above, it's the behavior board. So, and it's based on connection. Most of parenting is about connecting, bonding, and having fun with your kids. If you're not doing that, I don't even want you to discipline because it's just mean. So the discipline works really well. I just get it done with. I treat it like it's nothing. I say, okay, here, you made a mistake. Here's your consequence. I lay it down like that. And that's all I talk about. That's it. I don't discuss it. Okay. But if you're not connecting and playing with your kids, because fun is their love language, if you're not doing that, I don't even think you should be disciplining. It's just not balanced. It's mean. And the reason why they're acting out is because you're not playing with them enough, you see? So how long is too long for a 20-month-old to have a tantrum? I don't know. It can go on for 2 minutes or 20 minutes or longer. Depends on how much you've fed it in the past. It'll keep going and going and going. So yeah, check out all my videos on tantrums. If you Google BratBusters tantrums, hundreds of videos will probably come up. So it'll explain how you deal with the tantrum. Someone asked about naps. I don't like talking about naps. They might just be outgrowing them. You might be in the transition phase. And bedtime battles does not apply to naps, daytime naps. So it's a very case-by-case sort of piece of advice. I would have to assess the situation before I could give you any appropriate information on naps, because I don't know your situation. Are they outgrowing naps? My kids stopped regular naps at about 12 months old. So, and they had accidental ones, but they just weren't. They weren't super active kids. They were easy kids, and they just stopped napping at 12 months old. So they're all different, right? So I'm suggesting if they're not going down for a nap, maybe they don't need them. Parents will always come back with, yes, they do. That's the transition. Yes, they are going to be tired for a while, but eventually they'll learn to catch up and sleep heavier at night or sleep longer at night. How can I stop my 2-year-old from hitting himself in the head? You just hold him. If he's hitting himself in the head, you physically restrain him to keep him safe, right? So, but you don't look at him or talk to him. You just keep him safe. That's all. Just hold him till he's finished. Like hold him for maybe a minute or so, then let go. If he starts up again, grab him again. How do you balance connection and life responsibilities? I don't quite know what you mean. You don't have to be playing with them all day long, but like I don't like playrooms unless they're right by the kitchen where you are. I want my kids around me. I've known people who put playrooms in different levels even. Like, what, you never want to see your kids? Like, I can't even comprehend that. I want my kids around me. So I was always kind of chatting with them. They were always very aware I was there. That's connection. Showing, oh, what are you doing? I saw you did that. Way to go. So if I was busy doing something, I was still usually chatting with my kids. How to handle tantrums when in transition? We'll just move them. And yeah, if you've got to go from the car to inside, just put them inside, then let them have their tantrum inside. Don't talk to them or look at them though. You never feed a tantrum. Any attention, eye contact included, is feeding it. It's like you're fertilizing that tantrum. How do I get my 3-year-old to stop copying me? He thinks it's funny. Well, I kind of do too. I don't know what you mean. If my kids copied me, I would have loved it. What I would have done is if my kids started copying me around the house, I would have said, if I was talking and they were mimicking me, I would have said, Mummy's the best mummy in the whole world. Or else I would have started mopping, and I would have done everything I want them to do and say. So yeah, I would have thought it was funny. Okay, good question. You got a 7-year-old who's swearing. Just put no swearing or no bad words, however you want to call it. And then a consequence. It doesn't, I wouldn't say cleaning the toilet unless you want him to do that. It doesn't have to fit the crime. Everyone worries about the punishment. What's the consequence? What should it be? Doesn't matter. It's just a good deed. He can just wash the kitchen table. He can empty the dishwasher. It doesn't have to be anything that, so he said a dirty word. Now he has to clean a dirty toilet. It doesn't have to be like that. The punishment does not have to fit the crime. Two-year-old hits mom when he's removed from the fun. Yeah, if you know he's going to hit, just physically protect yourself. Like if he goes to hit, just be ready for it and grab his arm and you just say no and look away. Because you've removed him from the fun. He's already in the midst of the consequence, so you can't keep, having more consequences. So you've already done the consistent corrective action. If he goes to hit you, I'd just turn him away so he's facing away from me. And I'd hold the back of his head to keep him safe so he can't headbutt or anything either. So yeah, just protect yourself. Don't look at him or talk to him. Do not say, don't hit me. Because he's not listening, and now all of a sudden you're talking to him while he's having a tantrum. You see? You said they nap in the car, though. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what napping in the car means, but I don't know what context it's around. Sorry, I'm going to scroll ahead to make sure you're still here, because people come and go. Like I used to think there was only like 100 people in a live, but then when I'm finished, it'll say there was 2,000 in the live. People come and go, come and go, come and go in lives. So that's why I keep scrolling, just to make sure you're still here, because people do come and go. Okay, good. You struggle with what the consequence could be. You're focused on the wrong thing. It's just a good deed. It can be wipe the fridge, the front of the fridge. It can be clean the toothpaste out of the sink. Yeah, don't get caught up in what the consequence is. There is no perfect consequence. Check out the free behavior board. It has some ideas, but don't get caught up in that. That's not the important thing. The important thing is your consistency. You follow through with it. That's the important thing. Okay, I don't understand this, so I'm going to read it out so I do, hopefully. On the behavior board, if the consequence is kid-led play, so the parent's consequence is kid-led play for 10 minutes, what would a negative consequence be for the parent? I don't understand that. If the parent's consequence is kid-led play for 10 minutes, what would a negative consequence be for the parent? There isn't one. What do you mean? It's for the kid. The parent's consequence on the behavior board is something fun for the kids. So I don't know if that answered that or not. Yeah, I don't know if that answered it. Okay. How do you occupy your toddler when working from home? That is really difficult. You should have a door or something. If you're working, you cannot expect a toddler to understand that you have to work to pay the mortgage or the rent. They don't understand that. If you're there, they don't understand why you're not accessible. So you should be in a separate room, and there should be some sign, like if the door is closed and they'll get used to a signal. Like if there's a Post-it note says stop, or just draw a picture of an X on it or something, that means that you're not available and someone else should be there helping them with them. Otherwise, it's just a struggle. That would almost be coaching. We'd have to figure stuff out, but even then it is hard. They do not understand money and financial responsibilities and work. They just don't understand that. So you can't expect them to. Your expectations are out of whack with the age. That's one of those questions. So that's like saying, how can we prevent a teenager from being moody when things don't go their way? That's unrealistic expectation. Yeah, you got to put an age. I can't answer with that. Some I can, but most I need an age. Does the thing stay on the board until it's improved? That's a really good question. No one's ever asked me that on a live, I don't think. Okay, here's how it goes. The behavior board in week 1, you have 1 rule, 1 behavior board. Then week 2, you have 2. Week 3, you have 3. Then you go off the boards. So you're sort of mastering your skill with this. It's all about you and your leadership. You're just sort of gathering skills for leadership with those 3 boards. Then after that, you go off the boards and they know right from wrong. And then if they do something naughty, you don't have to say you broke a rule. Just say, okay, that was a bad choice. Here's going to be a consequence. So the behavior boards are just teaching you. But yeah, they can stay up or you can get rid of them. Like I would never use a behavior board. There's no way I want kids looking at a board. I want them looking right at me. So it's because I'm level 10 with this because I invented all this stuff. But when you're learning, that board is sort of you're giving it some power. Like when people hire me for coaching, I always say, give me the power, money. Say we paid her a lot of money because when they're 7 and above, they start to clue into that. And the board. You want to give all the power to me, the financial commitment that you paid me for this, and also the board. But then by week 4, we want to give the power to the parents. But you're just learning when you're starting out. So don't worry about where they are. Worry about where you are. So you can go off the boards after 3 weeks, or you can keep them up. Some parents do, but you don't go to the board anymore. You can just talk about rules and consequences that are on the board, but don't go to it anymore after 3 weeks. It takes time. This is effort. It's hard to get respect. Maintaining it's a piece of cake, but it's really hard to get it. Okay, good question. So would you suggest waiting to implement changes after a huge life change, like a move across the country? No, I wouldn't. You can take the board with you. No, I wouldn't at all. No. No, I would start right now, especially if they're hitting or something. You can take that board with you. Yeah, I would start now. Okay, our daughter just turned 3, and she's recently been putting her hands in her face, slight hits occasionally. I realize this may be normal. No, it's not necessarily. Okay, lots of kids will do it, but not all kids will do it. It's not what I'd consider normal behavior. I would consider that naughty behavior, cheeky behavior. Okay, so that could be normal too, but you know what I'm saying. It's not acceptable is what I'm saying. So I would just put on the behavior board, no hitting or no putting your hand in my face and no hitting. So I would put that up there, and every time she does, there's a consequence. She'll learn. Don't talk about it. Just state it. You do this like a statement, not a discussion. It's just a statement. No hands in faces and no hitting. That's her rule. And then there's a consequence if she does. Don't discuss it. But I didn't hit. I didn't miss it. Anyway, here's your consequence. Do not get pulled into this excuses. The more you explain, the more they complain. Like if a kid, let's say you go to the board, let's say a kid did something naughty. So you say, okay, let's go to the board. You don't discuss it until you go to the board when you're working on the board. So you go to the board and you say, okay, so your rule was no hitting, and you hit, and they start arguing. Let's say they're 7 and they're arguing, but he did this and I did that and it wasn't fair. You turn and you look at them because they're talking. So I would be like this. I'd be like this. As soon as they stop talking, I'd go, yeah. So anyway, and I just continue on with what I need to do. They were the rude one for interrupting you. You are doing the right thing. You're a leader. You lead, let them follow you. You act, let them follow you. You're too busy reacting to your kid when they're naughty, right? You want them to react to you. So if they're rudely interrupting you and complaining and arguing, you can look at them and just like you're waiting for them to stop talking as soon as they're done. Yeah. So anyway, and then you just continue on as you work. It makes them more angry initially, which is good. You want that. You want the storm because on the other side of that storm is the rainbow. It's how you handle yourself during the storms. And then they get even worse. I hate you. I hate you. Okay. Anyway, so you see how I'm just following through with the board. I'm leading and letting them follow me. No way am I letting them fall. I'm not going to follow them. No way. You act, let them react. I always say you stay on the high road, the calm road, and let them climb up to you. Don't go down to meet them because there's no ladder back up. Once you're both down there, it is hard to get back up there. So they will eventually join you, but it takes time. Most parents just don't put the time in. They'll try it for a day or 2, or maybe even 5 or 6 days, and it's just not working. And then they give up. You got to do this for 3 weeks. A lot of parents get results in the first couple of days too. So it can go either way. It depends on how challenging the kids are. Okay, so I'm scrolling ahead to make sure you're still here. Your opinion on an 18-month-old spending the night at grandparents on a regular, frequent basis? I don't know. That sounds great. Why not? I have my granddaughter. I have her 1, sometimes 2 days a week because the parents work, and the other grandparents have her 3 days a week. And so, yeah, it's great. They've got all these people that love her. So, yeah, I think that's great. As long as you like the way they are with her and they're safe. And yeah, I think it's wonderful. I think with my granddaughter, they adjust. They're a little bit different with each person, as we all are. So it's just really nice that they've got all these people that bring out different things in them. Yeah, I think it's great. Okay, I got to go over to TikTok now if you want to join me over there. If not, you can check out my website. It's BratBusters.com. I've got my free behavior board, which also has a toddler section in there. And it's a mini course. It's completely free. If you want the boot camp courses, they're on sale right now, Black Friday, 25% off for a few days now. It's all on the website. Or you can look into coaching. That's one-on-one with me. There's a big wait list for that, but I hope to get through it. I don't know when. Anyway, I'll get to you eventually. And the podcast, it's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms. And right now we're in the middle of a 7 podcasts in 7 days series. It's all our basic stuff. We're going to bundle it up and it'll be accessible as a package down the road. My daughter said it'd be good to have all your basic information in one spot for new people to watch. Because some people have been following me for years and others just saw me today. So this will be where you'll go to find out all the basic stuff. Anywho, thanks so much for joining me. Happy parenting. I'm off to TikTok. I haven't said anywho in a while. I used to say that all the time. I think I thought I was funny. It's not so funny. Kind of boring. Okay. Okay, I'm going on TikTok now. Okay, this is Jordan. We really messed up with our 9-year-old on YouTube, and we're trying our best to change by implementing your parenting styles and tips. Is it too late? Oh, God, no. 9? He's just a little boy. He's tiny. Yeah, it gets harder at 16, 17, 18. It's hard. But I specialize in teenagers. But yeah, he's little. He's just at the start of the preteen or tween. Yeah, no, it's a good time to start. It's a really good time to start because you want to do it now rather than when he's 15. When I'm hired by parents of teenage boys, the sweet spot is 15. Almost always the teenage boy has just turned 15. With girls, it can be anywhere from 12 to 16. If it's crisis work, it's any age. But the sweet spot is boys, just 15, just turned 15. Okay, so let's get going with the live. I'm on TikTok now. What's I going to say about that? I was going to say something about TikTok. Never mind. Anyway, so my name is Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. You can go to my website, BratBusters.com. You can get my free behavior board. You can look into my boot camp courses. They're on sale right now, 25% off. Coaching isn't, but the courses are. I've got 2 of them, one for toddlers, one for older kids. And we also just did a bunch of updates on the toddler one. We just organized it differently to make it like in 4 different phases. So it was my daughter's idea. She's the smart one with all that. It's all my information, but she's great at bundling it all up and putting it out there. That's what she does. Okay. So what else? Oh yeah, coaching. I've got a big wait list, but I'll get to it eventually. So you can get on the wait list if you want. And what else? Oh yeah, the podcast. Sorry. I just say this so many times when I'm doing a live. The podcast is BratBusters Parenting Podcast. It's on all the platforms, and we save them all on YouTube if you want to watch us do it. My daughter and I, we work together. We're right in the middle of a 7 podcasts in 7 days series. It's all of our basic fundamental information. So it'll all be bundled up after these 7 days, and then you can access that as a bundle. I don't know how she's going to do it, but my daughter's got it all figured out. So anyway, let's get going with your questions. I'll do my best to answer them, and I don't answer all the questions. I like to mix them up. Plus I like to throw other stuff in that I think is important to share. Like one thing, people never say, how important it is to connect with your kids. That's the main thing. So that's why I like to throw that in there all the time. Connecting, bonding, having fun with your kids, laughing with them, being friends with your kids is number 1. Okay. If they feel good, they do good. If they feel bad, they do bad. But while you're playing with them, because play is their love language, fun is their love language. When you're playing with them, if they act out, I would just stop the play instantly. I would say something like this. So if you're having fun with your kids and they get out of control, I'd say, I'll tell you what, that was a bit wild. I'm going to stop for 1 minute now and then just shut it down for 1 minute. Then you can go back to play. Okay, this is when little kids, right? They learn. Like I used to chase my kids around the house every day with underpants on my head because every time I did laundry every day. And so I was a panty monster. Now, if they had acted up or gotten too out of control, I would have stopped in my tracks like that. And I would have said, we'll try again tomorrow. And I would have taken the underpants off my head. My kids would have gone, oops. So See, you want to connect, but it doesn't mean that you're like a lot of parents say, well, I'm playing all the time and they just get wild, but it doesn't mean that they can be naughty while you're connecting. Okay. Okay. There's a whole bunch of stuff I could add with that, but that's just general. Okay. How do you handle children in split houses? Only one parent is trying to set boundaries. 8-year-old. Okay. They generally follow the leader. They carry the leadership umbrella everywhere with them. What I mean by that is when you're a really calm leader with your kids, they'll tell you everything. You're a safe place to land. You increase their self-esteem. They like themselves the most when they're with the leader. They tend to lean into that personality and take that personality everywhere they go. Okay, but they will backtrack a little bit if the other parent is not doing any of that. But when they come back, they'll quickly adjust to you. Not much you can do. You can't change the other person, right? The other parent. Just do your best to be a leader, and they naturally lean into the leader. They're drawn to a leader, and the leader's the one they're going to tell everything to right through the teen years because you're a safe place to land. Do you do one-on-one sessions and family sessions? I don't quite know what you mean. If you're interested in coaching, there's a big wait list for that, but you can look on my website. That's what I spend most of my days doing is coaching people all over the world. It's all done online, and I usually like 2 parents, no kids preferably. But I can do one parent because the other parent is often with the kids. I'd rather have one parent uninterrupted than both parents and the kids there because it's a harder session. I have to be careful what I say in case the kids are listening, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah. I don't quite understand this, so I'm going to read it out, and hopefully I will. So, Hop on Pop. That was one of my favorite Dr. Seuss books growing up. My favorite one was, Are You My Mother? Yeah. Okay. I like One Fish, Two Fish, too. Anyway, I got a granddaughter, so I'm reading all these. Okay. How do you work on getting in the mentality of not letting them bother you so that you can be that type of leader that is not emotionally reactive towards their bad behavior? You've got that backwards. You think that you want them to change their behavior so you can relax, right? Totally wrong. That's the wrong way. You're putting your own emotional outbursts on them. You're blaming them for it. You have to take full responsibility. I don't care how kids are acting with me. I'm totally in charge of my own emotions. You can't expect them to, like what you're asking there is that when you behave, then I can calm down. No, you got to calm down first. You're the leader. You're the adult. You calm down first. It's the way it goes. I've mentored troubled teenagers. If anyone could push your buttons, it's them. They are freaking brilliant at it. And I never lost my cool once. It was challenging. And they're the ones who told me to start teaching this. So, but yeah, I never lost my cool once. That's your challenge. I can't tell you how to change your personality. I can only tell you that you need to, basically. But that's your challenge with all this. That's it. It's like dieting. If you get dieting advice, I could give you the best workout advice. I love working out and all that. I could give you really good advice, but I can't go home and move your limbs for you and tape your mouth up so you're not going to eat. You see what I'm saying? That is your challenge. I'm telling you what to do. Your job to do it. And I've never found a way of helping people change their personalities like they have to do it. Yeah, that is your challenge. It reminds me of years ago, I used to teach fitness. And I had a new client, and they said, okay, fine and dandy, when I'm here, it's all great, but how do I get myself here? They wanted my help with that. And I said to them, I'll tell you what I'll do, because I'm sarcastic. And that's why they worked with me. They thought I was funny, which I am, but I'm also say it like it is. I have no filter. So I said, I'll tell you what I'll do. You want to turn up to the 6 a.m. class, right? So what I'll do is I'll put my alarm on for 5. I'll get myself all ready. I'll drive to your house. Make sure you give me a key so I can come in. I'll go to your room. I'll pull down the covers. I'll get you out of bed. I'll get you dressed, and I'll drive you to the class. How would that be? And they went, point taken. So it is your challenge. It's hard. I've never said it was easy. That is your challenge. The thing is, once you start doing it, it starts to work and it gets easier. You got to put an age, and I need context around certain things. Like you said, my son keeps saying he's scared of everything. Is that normal? I don't know. Is he 16? Is he 3? And what's the context? So, yeah. We got rid of binkies a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I just was talking about that yesterday in a live. How to get rid of the binky, the soother, the dummy. I did that with my son at 18 months old, and he never asked for one again. And he had tantrums. I thought for sure it was going to be hell. I don't know why. It just was brilliant. But that was a lot of luck too, I think. Thoughts on timeouts? Hi, Brianna. You got to be new here. I hate timeout. I can't stand it. There's 4 things I hate that are really common discipline. No, 3. That are really common discipline methods. One is timeout. The other one is diversion, because you never divert with broccoli. It's always something fun, right? They're doing something rotten and you go, here's a candy. It's a reward, right? The worst one is the countdown. When they're doing something bad and you say, you better stop that by the time I count to 3. 1, 2, and they keep pounding and hitting someone for the 3 counts. And then you get to 3 and they break. You just taught them it's okay to be rotten in the short term, just not in the long term. Plus, it makes you look like you're afraid of them. And where's the consequence for all the hits they got in before you got to 3? Like, it's just the worst thing. It's the worst. Okay. Yeah, don't use timeout. Just keep listening to me. You can look at my other videos, listen to the podcast. You'll start to get it. I can't go through all the fundamentals all the time because most people are regulars that turn up to these lives. So, but check out my free behavior board. That is the training wheels with all this. It's completely free. It has a section on toddlers and a section on 3 and above. So you can check, and that's all the basic stuff on how you get started with all this. And also, I never used a behavior board is just a teaching tool. You don't want to use it forever. Some parents do. They pull it out over the years for different things, and that's fine. I would never use one just because I don't want kids looking at a board. I want them looking right at me. It's more powerful to looking at you. But when you're learning, you want to give that board power. And then once you get more of it, then you can get rid of it. But yeah, initially you don't want to not have a board. My 7-year-old daughter keeps letting me know that she has bad dreams of me, her mother. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It sounds a little bit like insulting, and she's maybe a little bit cheeky. Maybe you're getting upset. But I would look into that. There's 2 ways of viewing that. Are you traumatizing her in some way? I don't know. Are you yelling? Are you scaring her? That's one way to look at it. Or is she just doing it to get under your skin because you react? I would just say, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, and just ignore it. So we want to look into the fact, are you traumatizing her in some way? I don't know, If so, then you want to look into that. But otherwise, if she's just trying to get under your skin, I would just go, yeah, okay, fine. Just ignore it. Okay, this is funny. I've seen this before. 2-year-old sleeps on a mattress on the floor, likes to kneel on the floor with her chest on the bed. Is it okay? I can't comment on that because I'm not a doctor or a physio or a chiropractor. Do you know what I'm saying? But I've seen lots of kids do that. I've seen them fall asleep on couches, just laying. They're standing, but they're laying across like this on couches. Yeah, so I've seen that lots of times actually with kids. So, but I can't say if that's okay or not because I don't know if it's good for their spine. You get where I'm coming from? But it's quite normal for kids to do that. So it's not like she's a freak for doing it, but I don't know if it's healthy. I don't know. If my kids were doing that, personally, I'm not recommending this, but if I saw my kids asleep like that, I would run and get my phone and take a picture right away. So that's just me. Oh, how your 3-year-old is swearing. Just put no swearing on the behavior board and get rid of timeout. I hate timeout. I've never used it. I've never recommended it. I think it's mean. Imagine if you made a mistake at work and your boss said, you go stand in the corner for 5 minutes. It's demoralizing. It's patronizing. It's nasty. I hate timeout. Anyway, get rid of it. So just put on the behavior board, no bad words. Okay. And then whenever she does, there's a consequence. Check out the free behavior board. It's on my website and explains how you do all that. Okay, I probably shouldn't even mention this. My daughter would have a fit if I did, but I'm going to read it out anyway. Is 29-month-old hyperventilating when throwing a tantrum normal? Some of them do that, but I would have them checked out by a doctor if you're concerned. Okay, I can't comment on that, but it's quite common for them to do that. but I'm not saying it's healthy and you shouldn't worry about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, lots of kids do it, but yeah, it's a bit scary. I can't tell you. There's an old wives' tale on how you handle that. Just maybe you might want to talk to a doctor and just, I can't tell you what I would do because I do know how to stop it, unless it's a health problem, obviously. But I can't tell you what to do because I'm not a doctor or anything. But a doctor told me what to do. But anyway. You got a 3-year-old who has constant tantrums. Well, maybe you're not playing and connecting with him enough. Check out the free behavior board or keep listening to the podcast because you might need some more basic information, okay? The behavior board just sort of teaches you how to set up the behavior board. It's the start of all this, and you're on it too. But yeah, let's just start listening to the podcast. We go into more detail, and we've got our 7 podcast in 7 days series that we're working on right now. Well, we've already done them, but I think this was day 4 today. Yesterday was all about discipline. Today, I don't know what that was. I don't know. My daughter does all that stuff. But anyway, that's all of our basic information. It's going to be bundled up at the end of the 7 days, and then it's going to be, sort of, you can just look at all that. But you can start now. If you look at the BratBusters Parenting Podcast, and you can look up any subject on any platform, like you look up that little, look for something, whatever, and you can just type in whatever you want to know. And a whole bunch of podcasts will come up. If you just type in BratBusters Parenting Leadership, there might be some videos that come up, just basic stuff. But yeah, you want to sort of get into the groove of what I'm talking about. I can't believe I just said groove. I am too young to have ever used the word groovy, but I'm just on the cusp of that. You keep asking about good consequences. There's always 2 for the kids. There is no good consequence. It's just get them to do a chore. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't get caught up in what the consequence is. That's not the answer to all this at all. It's almost doesn't even mean anything. It's just a good deed. So you messed up, I want you to vacuum the kitchen. You messed up, I want you to clean the toothpaste out of the bathroom sink. You messed up, I want you to clean one window. So check out the free behavior board. It explains how you do all that, and it gives you some ideas. But there is no perfect consequence. It has really little to do with it. More like do a chore. It's a good deed. You did something bad, now you do something good. If you don't do that chore, then I come in with 24-hour media blackout or something. That's why the kids always have 2 consequences. The first one's a positive action, which they can do or not. It's up to, I don't care if they do it. Their choice, right? They chose to do the bad thing. Then they can choose whether or not they do the first consequence. Then it's up to me. Okay, then I say, okay, 24-hour media blackout starts now. Fine, I'll go and do the chore. Too late because the 15 minutes is up. You got to have it time sensitive. You say you got 15 minutes to do that chore. And then if they don't, in that 15 minutes, not 16 minutes, has to be when as soon as that alarm goes, you go straight to the second consequence. And remember, we're not fixing kids here. They're just a product of your parenting. You fix yourself. I fix and teach parents here. It's not the kids. They're just a result of your parenting. Between the ages of 3 and 12, all of their behavior is a direct result of your parenting. That's it. So you got to work on yourself, not your kids. You're working on yourself, not your kids. I know when I was working with kids and teenagers, and it was always challenging kids. It wasn't teenagers. It wasn't the easy ones because I was a behavioral mentor, right? So, but whenever they did something, when I was first working with them and they do something that was kind of nasty, right? So I always thought, what am I missing? I always blame myself because I'm a leader. So I always thought, what am I missing here? And, I only saw them for an hour a week. They weren't my kids, but a leader takes full responsibility for a kid's behavior. So think of it that way. If they don't listen to you, it's your fault. If they hit kids, your fault. That's the way you've got to look at it, or else you're not a leader. Okay? What else was I going to say? Just something general, just something that dawned on me a second ago. Can't remember. Yeah, I know parents really struggle with this. You all want to fix your kids, but it has nothing to do with them. It's all you. And the reason I know this is because I've worked with so many kids who were real challenges, but I managed to get respect with all of them, teenagers, everything. So it's never them, it's always you. And that's why I teach parenting. I don't teach teenagering. They already know how to be a teenager. I don't teach kidding. The only exception is toddlers. Toddlers are kind of free for all. They're just forming. So yeah, if they act out, that's not necessarily you. They're just toddlers. They're just forming, right? So, but past the age of 3, all their behavior's on you. And certainly that's the way you want to look at it. If not, you're not a leader. Like I said, when I was working with kids, I always thought, what am I missing? What did I do wrong here? Always. Because how else can you manage it anyway? If I blame them, then I'm just washing my hands of it and going like that. Their fault. But if I blame myself, then I'm going to take action. I'm going to figure it out. Right? Does that make sense? Plus, they're innocent. They're so young, right? They're just forming. Even 15, 16, they're still forming. So, yeah, how can you blame them for your flaws? Like, I never understand that. How can you blame your kids for their behavior when they're just forming? They're right. Like my son's 36 now. If he did something that was out of character, that he did something like, let's say, he broke the law or something, my first reaction would be, oh, where did I go wrong? What did I do? He's 36, for God's sake. But it's just, I'm mom. I'm the leader. Well, I'm not the leader anymore. He's his own leader. But, that's what I do. I always sort of, like, he's 36. If he did something I didn't like, I'm blaming myself. What did I miss when he was a child? What did I do wrong? You see? Don't get me wrong. He's a great guy. But if he did do something awful, that would be my first reaction would be, what did I do wrong? What should I have done better? Right? Because I was a leader. I parented from leadership. Anyway, I got to get going. Check out my website. It's BratBusters.com. And you can get my free behavior board. It also has a toddler section in there. It's completely free. You can look into my courses. They're boot camp courses. I have one for toddlers, one for older kids, 3 and above. And they're both on sale right now. It's a Black Friday sale. It goes for 4 days. And then you can look into coaching. That will never go on sale. That's one-on-one with me. I have a big wait list, but I'll get to you eventually. If you want to follow our podcast, it's called BratBusters Parenting Podcast. My daughter and I work together. We do the podcast together. She does all the marketing, all the planning. So it's all under her wing there. And so if you want to watch us do the podcast, it's also on YouTube. We're right in the middle of a 7-series podcast, 7 podcasts in 7 days. And it's going to include all of our basic information. So that will all be bundled up and it'll be available as a bundle. But all that's free. Most of our stuff is free. Okay. It's just coaching and courses that aren't. And anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Happy parenting.